Wow, my hair is not done. Mic test. Mic test. Shout out to Temple Coffee. Where's my pillow? Unedited, unfiltered, unscripted, real and raw. Never in my life I thought I would move to the States. Hi everyone. Welcome to Coffee with Jamie. This is a new series that I'm starting, and today I have Temple Coffee. I just came back from Saturday Morning Run Club, Coffee and Kilometer, shout out. I've always wanted to do this series where it's unfiltered, unedited as much as I can, and unscripted. And honestly, like I have no makeup, my hair is not done, no lashes. This is a big, vulnerable step for me, but yeah, I've always wanted to do it, and I think I want to keep it very real and raw and talk about all things outside of dentistry and just share my personal life and personal stories and personal journey. So I hope you enjoy it and grab a cup of coffee. I love oat milk lattes, so that's my go-to. And shout out to Temple Coffee, so good. I'm gonna start today's conversation just around like my move to the States. For those who are new here, I'm a dentist and I am passionate about designing smiles that's functional. So I kind of started using the term functional smile designer, and I've been so motivated to pursue my goals and dreams in my career. And that prompted me to move all the way from Canada to the States. And now I'm in Folsom, California, and I just got connected to the best office team, Smiling Company, and the visionary Dr. Ashley Hovis. I love her. That's just a little bit of a background. And so I moved from Canada to US not too long ago, end of January. So how long has it been? February, March, and then April. So almost 3 months. I think it's just 3 months now. And it's been a wild journey. There's so much to talk about, but I just wanted to touch on the topic of burnout. I'm very, very driven. I was not like this before, but anyways, that's a story for another time. But ever since I went to Tony Robbins' event and things just kind of unlocked inside of me, and I've been just so driven to pursue dreams of my life. And yeah, it took a lot. Like since September of 2024 till December, I was flying cities to cities in the States and, cities to cities in Canada. I had to write the American boards again. Never in my life I thought I would move to the States. Never say never, honestly. When my colleagues were writing Canadian boards and American boards in dental school, I was just like, nope, I'm never going to live in the States. So here I am. It's kind of funny how life turns around sometimes. But, anyways, so ever since I connected with Dr. Ashley and it became clear to me that God was leading me to this new chapter, I've been just laser focused with writing exams, the board exams over 2 days, clinical exams over 2 days. I had to redo one of the clinical exams. This is a story for another time too. So all of that and traveling to Korea, because that's been planned like 8 months ago with both of our parents, and going to Vail for the making of retreat and going to Utah for 4 weeks for Marshall Hansen residency. And then 2 days before our move in January, I was at the Koi Center for 6 days learning about perio and functional occlusion too. And I think it was just a lot. And everyone that I've shared this about, like, they're not even surprised because Jamie, like, you've been through so much, and how are you holding everything up? So, anyways, I think I've been kind of running on fumes. And once I got to California and like the new work life and transition, just changing workplace in itself is very challenging, but having to move to a whole new country, and you'd think that like Canada, US, pretty much the same. Nope, not the same. moving to another country is a whole new thing, and medical system here is different and everything's different. Getting US number, credit card, everything is just overwhelmingly different. um, and I got to really appreciate my parents who immigrated from Korea to Canada in their 40s. My dad stayed back in Korea for 9 years to support us financially. But yeah, I just had to talk to my mom like, I really appreciate your sacrifice and all that you had to go through. I just got to recognize that and appreciate that on a whole new another level. And the biggest thing that held me together was my faith. And I just knew that God was leading me to this place. I'm not a naturally like I'm a very anxious exam taker, so it was a lot of growth in that season. And then finally I got to California, and then I just hit a massive burnout. I was just not in a good headspace. I was feeling tired. I just went to work and having to put up this smile and, you know, like I want to enjoy what I'm doing, but just in my head, everything was spinning, and, my anxiety was through the roof. And after coming back from work, I would just sleep all day, and I would still wake up feeling tired. So, yeah, just slowly things were really hitting the low. And thankfully, um, my husband, he's a couples therapist, he's so aware of the mental health and all that. So he was like, Jamie, we're going to get you help. And I am so grateful for my boss, Dr. Ashley, who gave me the safe space to really open up and hear my struggle. And she was like, Jamie, take work off, go find help, and do what you need to do, really recoup. So I am so very thankful for that, because, yeah, it is so true. Like, we have to put the oxygen tank to ourselves first before we can help other people. And yeah, I think I was just so focused on my career, and Smiling Company is the reason why I moved to Folsom. And I had nothing else outside of that. And so just trying to prioritize self care in this season. And God is just so good. Like, I met the most incredible church. Shout out to Jesus Culture Sacramento. And it's just been wonderful to find community even outside of workplace. And um, I'm just so grateful for everything that God's been blessing me in my life. And it's so funny, like, I cannot stop talking about weather to my patients because it affects me so much. And you don't really know what you don't know. Like, Californians who's never been to like cold snow country or like lived there, it's like they don't know. They're like, oh, what is it like in Canada? I'm like, dude, it's like minus 30, 40, in the middle of winter. So um, having come from that place to here where it's so nice and there's green and so many pretty flowers at this time of the year, it's just, I feel like I'm just so blessed every single day. And my husband and I, we love the warmth, but we will experience the summer. So we'll kind of check in again after we experience the summer. But so far, it's been just so grateful. And it's so funny how fast your brain forgets things. Because I'm like, I've lived in Canada like over 20 years. And then I just moved like 3 months ago. And I don't really remember what it's like in Canada around this time, which is wild. So, yeah, all in all, we're just so grateful. The weather impacts me a lot, and just the fact that I can go out for a walk and go for a run club on Saturday and really prioritizing self-care in that way. It's been such a blessing. I was talking to a new friend at the run club today, Brooke, um, she's a therapist, and we were talking about on the topic of self care. And there's so many different ways to give yourself that care that you need. We were talking about like diet, putting the right things in your body, and exercising, changing your physiology. And so, one of the big things that I've been focusing on is, just picking up new hobbies. And it's so funny. I've always wanted to learn Taekwondo ever since I was a little kid. When I was doing Tony Robbins UPW just a month ago, I started doing these kicks, and like that was my power move. And I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to start Taekwondo. And then, like, fortunately, there's a Taekwondo place right across from where I live. And so we signed up, and we've been going there ever since. And it's been such a fun thing to do after work and something to look forward to. And even though sometimes I don't want to go, and, Elliot has to push me to show up, but every time I go, I'm like, not regretting the fact that I showed up. And it's been just a fun journey and that way. So, picking up new hobbies, changing your physiology, and, having connections. I love connecting with people. And I think that's what brings me so much joy. And, Saturday Run Club, I love that space because not only I get the runner's high, today I didn't because I ran in, in the cold and it was like burning my throat down. But running and drinking coffee and connecting with all these people. And I get to hear all these recommendations to where to go from the local people. And yeah, just sharing that positive energy with people, that really helps. And, as a dentist, I tell my patients, like, minimum, you have to brush your teeth twice a day for 2 minutes and floss every day. But when you are suffering with your mental health, you really don't want to brush your teeth. And I could really relate to that because I was like, I don't want to shower. Like I was in the same clothes for like all weekend when I was really not doing well. And this is a story for another time, but really like talking about anxiety, depression, but then actually having to go see a doctor and sit in front of them and getting that professional help is a whole new other story. So, I've learned so much through this journey and the growth that I've had and just inside of me and just looking at people in a different perspective. And so I totally understand when people are suffering with their mental health. Maybe like if you don't feel like brushing or whatnot, like habit is important, but then if you are usually brushing every day and then suddenly like maybe that's a sign. It's a form of self care, taking care of your oral health. And I know I said I won't talk about dentistry, but I'm a dentist, so it's hard to stop me from connecting everything to dental. So there's a little tip. Yeah, just remember that brushing your teeth, flossing is a form of self care. And when you do that, you know, you can tell yourself, like, I'm showing myself love in this way and kind of change that narrative and perspective. It's not just one of the to dos, but like really taking care of yourself. I think that's a refreshing perspective in a way. And yeah, what else? Mm, I lost the train of thought. Let me have a sip of this wonderful coffee, simple coffee. So, anyways, that's been kind of my life. Gratitude is so important. I think really gratitude makes your life more abundant. And yeah, I feel I've been taking my medication for a month now, and I think it's finally kicking in. And it's just, oh my gosh, like it's night and day difference. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, why am I so happy? Is this normal? Like, but I think, this is what normal feels like. And it almost like makes me anxious that I'm this happy, but I feel like this is what it's supposed to be. So, yeah, I'm not really afraid to talk about my mental health journey. I think it's a normal human experience, and I want people to be open about it. And, I relate to that. So, here it is. I wanted to share that. And oh my gosh, when I was really not doing well, I was like off from social media. And it's so funny because even when I was like really struggling, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta get my season 2 podcast going. So I was like interviewing people, and I have 2 episodes already that I need to finish editing and get it out. And I like announced that it's coming soon, but then I'm like, dude, like I don't even want to edit anything. I don't even want to think about tea. So I like just took a big pause. So I can't wait to just get back on that and share these amazing, inspiring stories with you guys. So stay tuned. It will come soon. And thanks so much for just joining me today and listening to my story and following my journey along. And I'm here with you, so feel free to comment, ask questions about anything. If you want me to share something in the future, I want this to be interactive, community building, and just kind of share my life outside of the office, outside of the chair. So, well, dental chair, not this chair. So yeah. Anyways, I love you all. I hope you have the best weekend. Bye. I don't know how to end it. Haha. Oh my gosh. I don't have any lashes. That's crazy. It's so funny because like it looks so polished this side, but then I have all my stuff on the other side of the camera. The life of a creator. But this is yeah. I'm gonna go clean my place now. Okay. Bye. I love you. Oh. I gotta show off this. I have to. No.